I want to start by thanking the Supreme Court.
For Donald Trump, it is without a doubt a clear and massive victory. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling to allow Trump's name on the ballot for the presidential election this fall. The court's 9 justices unanimously reversing a decision by the top court in Colorado that had earlier ruled Trump was disqualified.
You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that, and the Supreme Court saw that very well.
It all goes back to that rioting on Capitol Hill January 6, 2021, when the crowd of Trump supporters, egged on by Trump, tried to prevent Joe Biden from gaining the presidency. Many called it an attempted insurrection. The U.S. Constitution prohibits anyone who engages in insurrection against the U.S. from holding office. When Colorado then acted to remove Trump's name from its ballots, the case went to the U.S. Supreme Court for arguments, as other states had acted to follow suit. Now, in its ruling, the Supreme Court says individual states cannot be allowed to do that. It would lead to electoral chaos, ruling only the U.S. Congress has the power to act in that way. But even as efforts to keep Trump off this year's ballots failed, those who'd led the push to do so underlined.
What's important to note is that the Supreme Court's decision today did not exonerate him. They did not say that January 6th wasn't an insurrection, and they did not say that he didn't engage in insurrection. Instead, the court let him off on a technicality.
But it's a technicality with an immediate effect. Millions of Americans are now set to go to the polls for so-called Super Tuesday to nominate their choice of candidates for the White House, knowing Trump has just cleared a key hurdle that had faced him on that path, and cleared it convincingly.
So, Paul, interesting. You say the ruling was unanimous, but we know there's a bit more to this than meets the eye, right?
Yeah, 3 of the justices, Democrat appointees, wrote what's called a concurrence to say that while they effectively sign off on the ruling, they also think part of it went too far, that the court should not have said it's up to Congress to bar insurrectionists from holding office. They say that shuts the door on other potential ways of doing that to insurrectionists, including, it would seem, to Donald Trump. They called it a, quote, special rule. Interestingly, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee, also disagreed with that aspect, but less forcefully, and she called out the Democrats on the bench as strident.
All right, Paul Hunter in Washington tonight.